Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.
What's that, boy? Dad! Over there! Is that a Yeti?
It's just his hair, son.
At last! Saved after all these years! Stuck up this cursed mountain, licking moss with only a crow for a friend. How'd you find me?
Just walking the dog. Need a lift back down?
Room for a crow?
Adventures never far with the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Now £339 per month on Land Rover personal contract hire.
Oh, heated seats.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
Initial rental £4,068. 48th month term. Subject status. 8,000 miles per annum. Conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of March. Participating retailers only. Such Land Rover offers.
In a digital world of unlimited possibilities, how do you know when to stop? When is enough really enough? I'm Kari Watt. I'm a communications specialist, speaker and writer, and I'm here to be your digital coach, where I give you guidance on how to communicate better in your career and relationships, or on anything you want to ask me. Because communication is my thing, I want to see you become a better communicator, no matter where you are in the world, how old you are, or what you do for a living.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Now, if you're new to my podcast, please subscribe to encourage that I'm actually making a positive influence. And if you're not new and haven't subscribed, come on now, what are you doing? Can you help a girl out? The home was once a place of sanctuary. In a digital landscape that never sleeps, it's become an extension of the office. The outcome is more stress-related illnesses, especially in the workplace. So when is it time to switch off and forget about work? It appears that the human race has made a group decision to pick up the collective pace. You know the moving escalators in airports, where you step on the platform with everyone else and suddenly it feels like we're all moving a little faster. We have to jump on the fast track, moving in the same direction. Once on, it seems pretty impossible to get off, right? But you can. If you just stop for a moment, you can take a break out of the group trance. You can turn around, walk against the current, and step off the moving platform at least long enough to ask yourself some really important questions. Question number 1. What matters to you most? What brings you a sense of purpose and feels good? Now, you might need to reflect on this question for a few minutes before you can tap into the answer. It may take you a little bit longer. You might have to plow through the layers of social and family conditioning to discover what's really important to you. Now, I have to say it's worth the digging. The key to knowing how much is enough gives you a voice to your own values. It's an action step towards happiness and feeling grounded. Now, the American president, Donald Trump, when he was a TV icon back in the day, was known to say, part of being a winner is knowing when enough is enough. Sometimes you have to give up the fight and walk away. Now, we all know a few Americans who would love him to take his own advice at this present moment. Question number 2. Where's the hidden cost? You pay a price when you excessively push yourself or furiously multitask. Beyond the obvious stress or exhaustion, constant striving can take other tolls. The loss of community, family tension, and diminished relationships, as well as compromised health, mental fatigue, and frayed nerve. Mental fatigue increases the chance of forgetting things. It requires you to revisit or redo your work. It also increases the likelihood that you'll cut corners, since you'll be rushing to complete the task. Corner cutting often results in having to redo work, sometimes in really embarrassing ways, especially if you don't catch the errors before somebody else sees them. For example, I suffer from dyslexia, and when I'm highly stressed, you may notice it when I speak or write because sentences won't make any sense. I've actually lost a job because one sentence of an article didn't make much sense, even though it was a draft copy. And it just goes to show you how intolerant some managers can be, and why I've made it my life's purpose to teach you how to communicate better, to learn from my mistakes. During stress, what actually happens is the cognitive part of the brain switches off. Now, this is a clear warning sign you're suffering high levels of stress, and it's best to take some time out to relax. Often meditation or relaxation techniques will help with this. on the Kari Cares podcast. Now, if you're looking for a relaxation technique, I cover a very simple one that can take you less than 5 minutes in podcast 1. Meditation is better than sliced bread, and you can do it with your eyes open. I use it quite a bit because obviously as a communication specialist, my job can be highly stressful. Question number 3. Why are you doing it? Does your focus on your career bring health and happiness, love and connection, a peace of mind and generosity of spirit? Or does it provide stress and way too much stimulation because you can't switch off? Do you think it benefits you or your loved ones? Or are you addicted to having more money, experiences, gadgets, getting somewhere, or giving too much of yourself? Have you sacrificed the simple pleasures of everyday life for the illusion of more is better? What are you sacrificing for or working so hard for? Now, it may mean because you're building a brand or a business, which means that in the shortfall, yes, you may have to work a lot. Granted, you may have the support of family and friends, and if you don't, perhaps it's time to take a break and build on your relationships. Or perhaps it's time to find people who will support you. Question number 4. Who are you doing it for? Now, this is a really important question. Who are you doing it for? A great deal of our activity in consumerism is based on appearances, by judging the worthiness of our life and comparing it to the lives of others, such as keeping up the appearances with the Joneses. Many of us are guilty of doing things being somebody we're not, and buying things in an attempt to impress someone. It might be from our parents to the myth ethical Joneses to the Cosmic Committee. Here's a little secret. If there is a Cosmic Committee, those members wish something far grander for you than things or status. And here's another tip. The Joneses are also comparing themselves to someone else, maybe even you. Whatever you do, do it for you. Put your energy in being your most genuine, fully alive and generous self. Question number 5. When do you stop striving and start living? When you work in order to achieve a future goal, whether it is to build the dream home or save the world, you often forget to celebrate what's already in the house or on the planet. It's not to say you shouldn't dream or try to improve yourself or the world. I mean, people who focus their energies exclusively on work have a tendency to develop stress-related difficulties. If you're in a situation where even your leisure time is occupied by thoughts of work, there's a problem. Be alert to the symptoms of stress. For example, are you having difficulty sleeping? Do thoughts about work intrude your social life? Are you enjoying your time at work less? Do you have difficulty enjoying your time away from work? Are you becoming more irritable and less patient? The real key to productivity is to balance work and a social life. This is where you can examine your habits and practices to see if it's possible to increase the amount of work you accomplish only at work. Improved organization and time management can help you do this. Now, if you're really keen to learn more about this, please get in touch via social media at Kari Watt, either on Twitter or my public Facebook page, and send me a hashtag Kari Cares Podcast 5 so I know which topic you're inquiring about. And I can send you some info on some of my online courses that will help you become a much better and grounded communicator to get that promotion, because I really want to see you succeed. The great Persian poet Rumi wrote some lines in the 12th century that can still guide us today. It goes like this: let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love. Now, there's a total life strategy packed into those 14 words, starting with silently. It's in the silence that we can discover how much is enough and what brings us joy. If we rush around noisily from one thing to another, how can we ever feel the stronger pull that Rumi suggests? How can we know what we truly love if we never stop to draw down into the quiet waters of the heart? The next time you're faced with how much is enough dilemma, take a few deep breaths. Dip down into the silence and see if you can feel the stronger pull. Then, my friend, I suggest you follow it. It may not lead to the shopping mall or the pub with the boys, but I promise it will bring you the golden treasure of enough. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for some good vibes, and because it's free, give give this away. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use a little help. Give it to them because they can listen to it privately, and it may significantly change the outcome of their lives. See you next time, because communication is my thing and now it's your thing. Well, I hope it's your thing. I hope it becomes your thing. Is it your thing?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.